And so with that being said, all boards and commission members, your camera should be on. So if your camera is not on, please turn it on now. Do not turn off your camera unless asked to be excused. As of right now, there's no board chairs. So therefore, if you have to be excused, please message someone from the Office of Equity Inclusion, particularly your staff liaison, Ara. If your video isn't available because of technical difficulties or other reasons, please make arrangements to join video audio. You can connect through your mobile device or some type of other electronic means for audio. That should be also included in your invitation link. If you do not have that, just let Ara know and we can get that squared away for you as well. And it's also anytime you can't join with your personal link, you guys, is always on the City of Raleigh website. So on your boards commission page and also under Raleigh events, you will see your meetings, and then you'll see the link to join as a public member, and we can move you over as a panelist. But we just ask you not share your panelist link with the public. That's specific to you. So connected via audio. So please mute yourself when you're not speaking to minimize background noise. If you are only connected via audio and not camera, you have to state your name, followed by I am connected via audio only. So for example, if my camera was off right now, I would say, you know, Deja Deaver, I am connected via audio only. Every time I speak, when roll call is taken, prior to voting, prior to participating in deliberations, including making motions, proposing amendments, and raising point of orders. Roll call. So this is why I started with this first. So meetings should start with a roll call, say the name of each member attending. The roll call be reflected in the minutes. So today I will take your minutes until you guys elect a secretary. And with those minutes, I will reflect who's here and who's not here. And that's just standard practice regardless for the city boards and commissions. Voting. The new law requires votes to be taken by roll call. So if a member, if you're visible, a vote can be either by raising your hand, as long as the chair, in this case right now, Ara, announces the vote of each member. This is only if everybody camera is on. If everybody camera is off for whatever reason, you guys can't just do the votes by hand. However, Ara will announce the vote of each member. The name of the person and how each member voted should be reflected in the minutes. So if you guys were to vote on something, I'll put your name and how you voted. So whether or not beside, and it'll be in the minutes that will go on board docs, which is already available to the public as well. No vote can be by secret or written ballot, whether that's by paper or electronic means. That also means emails. You can't vote for officers via email, via chats, or anything like that. So a failure to vote by a member who is physically, in this case, virtually present, who has withdrawn without being excused by majority vote of the remaining members present, shall be recorded as an affirmative yes. So pretty much, if you're present, you don't like what we're talking about, and you just don't want to vote, it will still be considered a yes. If you, for whatever reason, withdrew and you did not ask to be excused, your vote will be considered a yes as well. So just please be mindful of these different regulations as we move forward in a virtual platform. So a quorum. So like we just said, a quorum is half your voting members plus one. So a majority of the membership of the board's commission constitutes for a quorum. So the number required for a quorum is not affected by the vacancies. Luckily, right now, you guys are a new board, so there's no vacancies right now, so it's not applicable. However, if it was, you know, we will kind of go by that. So if a member has withdrawn from a meeting, like I said, without being excused, a majority vote of the remaining member present, he shall be counted as present for the purpose of determining whether a quorum is present or not. So if you withdrew and, you know, there's about to be a vote and you withdrew right before the vote without being excused, for the purpose of a quorum to determine if we could, you will still be counted as present. If several board members get disconnected from audio and video, this is just not audio, but if your camera and video is off from, let's just say if there's a power outage or something, like everybody has Spectrum and all their stuff went out, right? And y'all can't join again, the numbers of members connected fall below a quorum, the meeting will stop. However, we will give it some grace and, you know, try to see if people can get reconnected. And so if a number of people can reconnect, we can continue the meeting. However, if we, you know, whatever the guideline is, we'll say, okay, maybe we need to stop this meeting. So meeting minutes. The meeting minutes should include the type of remote meeting held. So right now the meeting minutes will reflect virtual Zoom meeting. If we were joining via WebEx, it would say virtual WebEx meeting. If we were connected through a telephone conference, it would say conference, audio conference, a telephone conference, something like that. In the minutes, we will also not only do the members present, but we also include the members absent, just for transparency for all the board members and the citizens of Raleigh, as we do collect attendance. When each board member left and joined the meeting, so that's something new. So in the minutes, the meeting started at about 1 o'clock, 1:05. So what we'll do is anybody who joined before the time, it will reflect. If you were to leave for, let's just say, whatever reason you had to leave and step out for the remaining minutes of the meeting, we will have to reflect that in the minutes as well. Public records. This is very important. All chats, instant messages, text messages, or other written communication, so let's just say email as well, during the remote meeting are deemed public record. So pretty much, I would highly suggest do not chat, instant message, text, or write communications amongst each other during this meeting. During the meeting, board members should not communicate in a way that cannot be seen or heard by the members of the public. So that means pretty much if you are emailing each other during this meeting, the public cannot see you or hear you because that is a closed communication, and so we don't want that. Board members should not use the chat function related to board business during the meeting unless they're going to be ran to pretty much the minute. So limit what you guys say in the chat because this is a public record. So don't go putting your phone number, your personal email address, or anything that you don't want the public to see. Pretty much any written electronic communication between the board members that happens, like I said, during this remote meeting is deemed public record, and we will be made available according to the public. And I will say, people do ask, so I just ask you to be mindful for what you write and how you write it and when you write it. Technical withdrawal. So the member audio and video connection is just one person I'm talking about now. If somebody singly audio and video gets disconnected due to technical issues, that member is not considered to be present for the vote. It is not counted towards quorum purposes. So not excused, like I said, if you intentionally disconnect, and so we could kind of tell if somebody intentionally disconnect, it's a heated topic, or, just up and leave, and don't let R know or someone else know that they need to be excused. That member is counted as being present for the vote, and it defaults as a yes rule. So, like I said, please be mindful when you leave the meeting and not. Any questions? I know it's a lot. I'm trying to go over it. Any questions? Yes, Elazar, and then Miss Ann.
Okay, me first or Ann first?
You can go first, and then we'll go to Miss Ann.
On the communications equaling public record, is any communications dealing with the board, or for example, if I text my mom,
No, gosh, no.
I text her back, yeah, mom, I'll get dinner with you. Does that become part of the record, or is it just board related issues?
Board related issues. Yeah, no, we don't, no. But good question though. I mean, that, you never know, right? But no, that's not the right. Miss Ann?
Yes, I like to take notes because I can't remember everything everybody said. I presume my private notes are not considered public record. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, you said you like to take notes, and I couldn't quite hear the last part.
Well, I'm presuming these are private notes. They are not public record. It's just me writing down what happened during the meeting for my own personal use.
Yes, ma'am. So, for example, when you guys select a secretary, that will become public record. So, for example, last meeting, I took your minutes. This meeting, I'll take your minutes as well. That will be public records. That will be housed on your website, and that will be housed on board docs. Anything that I give you, far as like this presentation I just gave you, is actually already on board docs. So the members of the public can see as well. So your personal notes, no ma'am, is not public record. But the minutes your secretary take will become public record once you guys vote on it. And, anybody else before I turn it back over to Ara? All righty, with no further questions, Ara, I'll send it back to you.
All right. Well, so we'll start off with the roll call. I will call your name. Please let me know if you're here or present. Sometimes I can't see all of y'all at the same time. So, and then Deja is going to be taking in your name as you say here. Pepe Caudillo. Eleazar Posada.
Hi, I'm here.
Scott Phillips. Anne Mukwaka Kyoko. Andrea Martinez.
Here.
Ann Robertson.
Present.
Rasha Muhammad. Virginia Rojas. Elke Millan, I'm sorry.
Here. Sorry, technical difficulties.
Michelle Bormeo Betancourt.
Here.
Jordan Crumroy.
Here.
Cynthia Martinez Gonzalez. Adiel Martinez.
Here.
And Idalia Arellano. Okay, excellent. So we'll move forward. We will now move to the approval of the Hispanic and Immigrant Affairs Board agenda for September 26th.
I don't think you called my name, did you?
Oh,
Faven Smith?
okay.
I'm here. Just I didn't hear it.
Sorry, yes, right in the middle, Faven Smith.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us know. Sorry about that.
No problem.
So I will show you the agenda so that you are aware. Let me see if I can share my screen quickly so we can move fast. Yes, time is running out. I'm hoping that you guys can view the agenda. You can. Okay, so welcome. We've done that. We've done the roll call. We'll do the approval of the agenda. We'll do the approval of the minutes. We'll do the staff liaisons report, which will be our board development for today, as well as our bylaws, new business, old business, action items, and the one change from the agenda we did post was just the public comments. We put it towards the end. So if there are any individuals that want to post any comments, we will read those towards the end of the meeting. So I will stop sharing so that we can move forward. All right, so can I get anyone to motion forward so that we can approve the agenda to begin with?
So moved.
I second.
Thank you. So it passes. Any voting? Anybody needs to make any changes? All in approval? Can you raise your hands so that, which is recorded? Okay. Anyone against it? Okay. Recorded. No one against. I think we can see everyone in the screen, so I think we're good to move with this. I do see that Pepe is in, so if Deja, you can mark him in. I'm not sure if he was marked in.
Yes.
Okay, great, awesome. All right, so let's move down then to the approval of the minutes. I did send you the minutes this week. If we can, are there any changes or anything you'd like to see, any discrepancies you'd like to discuss? If not, I do ask that someone please make a motion.
Move to approve the minutes.
Can someone second that?
I second the motion.
Okay, so let's go ahead and vote. All for? Anybody, if you could raise your hand if you're for the motion. Anyone against it? If you could raise your hand if there's anyone against it. Okay, if you could record that, Deja. All right, so let's move on forward. As we move on forward to the staff liaison report, we do move to the board development. You guys did nominations our last meeting about a month ago. And so I will present to you the nomination, I guess, ballot as it came through. And from there, I will show it to you on the screen. I guess take your notes. You'll be voting for one person for community, one person for professional, and one person for secretary. I will show the screen as I will have to be mentioning the names one by one. I will have to take it out. So I just want to make sure that you guys can look at the names, select it. I'll give you about a minute to just look over it, and then I'll call out the names. If you are voting for the name I call out, you raise your hand, we will record it. And I guess we'll get from there who our co-chairs are and who our secretary is. So let me go ahead and share that quickly with you. Let's see if we can share this. Okay. Is it sharing it? Because I can't see.
It is.
Yes, it's shared.
Okay. So I want to make sure you can see it, or do I need to make it a little bit bigger?
Yes, please.
Zoom in. There we go. A little bit more.
Okay. Can you see it there?
Is that better, Jordan? We good? Okay.
So I'll call out the names as we see them on the list. Take your quick notes so you can, I guess, pick from the list.
Hey, R, this is Demetrius.
Yes.
Can you give everyone a second? Are you giving everyone a second to
Yes.
look, and then you're going to close it out and then come back as a main group?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. If anybody else needs a little bit of extra time, please let me know.
I'm good.
All right. I will close out the sharing. Let me see if it lets me do it now. Hold on. Okay. All right, so let's get ready. Deja, if you can go ahead and take the notes on this. And all right, for community co-chair nomination, we will start off with that. I ask that you raise your hand for your vote. You get to pick one person from each of the lists. For community co-chair, Andrea Martinez. Okay, if you can take Pepe's vote for Andrea.
Still right, sorry.
Okay. Ready to go to the next one? Okay. For community co-chair, Elke Millan. We have 3 votes, Eleazar, Andrea, and Adiel, and Elke, 4 votes. We'll move to the next community co-chair nomination for Anne Sophie Mukwa Kyoko. Okay, we will move forward to community co-chair nomination for Pepe Caudillo. We have Rasha Mohammed, Ann Robertson, Michelle.
Who's the name? Sorry, who was the name before we did? Was it Ann?
And Sophie Mukwa Kyoko.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you can
And then
continue.
the last one for community co-chair nomination is Cynthia Martinez Gonzalez. see. All right. Did anybody not vote, or anybody have everything recorded?
I don't think I have a vote from Jordan. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone.
Nope. I would like to abstain from this because I don't know you all. And so I trust that those of you who know each other know better than the 4-paragraph bio that I could read. So I think this should be community led. So I'd like to abstain from voting, and I'd like to abstain from being nominated as well. For the same reason, I think it should be led by community members who have demonstrated their leadership.
Okay, Dr. Caesar, is that fine, or within our rules as far as not voting, having to be a yes, but this is not a yes particular?
Well, technically, your name is on the ballot, so if you do receive votes, those do count and they are applicable. But we understand what your intentions are. Thank you.
So will we still run her under secretary since she was presented as one of the nominees?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll go through the process as set up.
Okay.
Would it be possible to put up the list for secretary again now that she's recused herself? So we could.
Well, she will still be in there. She will still be in
She'll
there.
be in there.
Yeah, she'll still be in there. So yes, she'll still be in there. Okay. So do we want to present these? I guess the winning nominee in this section. So we move forward to the next one. Deja, if we have the total numbers.
A second, I just want to make sure I have everybody. I'm sorry. I'm trying to type as fast as I can. Andrea. Okay, so for that one, I'll go, do you want to go through each nomination list or just give you the top one of who it is?
Whatever you feel more comfortable doing, I'm fine.
All right, so for nominee Andrea, we have 1 vote. Nominee Elke, we have 4 votes. Nominee Ann, none, so we move forward. Nominee Pepe, we have 3. Nominee Cynthia, we have none, so we move forward. So with that being said, the most votes goes for Elke.
Well, congratulations, Elke. So we do have the community chair, co-chair.
Record.
Is there a little clapping, a little app in here? All right, so let's move forward then for our professional co-chair nomination. For our professional co-chair nomination, we have Eleazar Posada. If you're voting for Eleazar, please raise your hand. We have Andrea Martinez. And if it's easier, we could just put the first name and then we'll add the Eleazar.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm gonna add it later and just hit the first name.
So we have Andrea. We have Elke. And Adiel. And Eleazar. Did we capture everyone? I think we did. All right, let's move to second.
Wait.
Yes.
Oh, wait, we're still on the first person on the list, right? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
gotcha.
we are. So under professional co-chair nomination, we also have Rasha Mohammed. We have Rasha. We have Michelle. And we have Pepe. Are we good with that one? Can we go to the next?
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
Are we missing anyone? I think we got everyone, right?
I didn't get a vote. Are we done voting? Because I didn't get a vote.
No, we're
from
not
this-
done voting. We
Oh,
have-
okay, I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah. Under professional co-chair, we also have Ann Robertson as one of the nominees. Okay, we move forward. And under professional co-chair, our last nominee is Scott Phillips. we have Ann Robertson, and we have Fabian. Are we missing anyone? This was the last one, so want to make sure if we're missing anyone. Okay, do we have our final numbers, Deja, or you need a?
Yes, ma'am. So for nominee Elizar, sorry if I messed y'all name, but I do apologize. Please forgive me. We have 4 votes. Nominee Rasha, we have 3. Nominee Miss Ann, we have none, so we move forward. Nominee Scott Phillips, we have 2. So with that being said, for professional Elizar.
Congratulations, Eleazar. So Fabian's having issues with her. You did get your vote in, right? Did you get your vote
Yeah.
in? Okay.
I can hear you now. Sorry, but it's in and out.
Okay. All right. Okay. Excellent. So we do have 2 co-chairs already. Let's move down to secretary. We are keeping Jordan in there, so we don't need to re-show that again. So our first nominee is Jordan Crimroy. Our second nominee is Elke. Although she already has a position. I don't know. I don't think we have to vote, do we? Do they have to vote for this position as well?
You still have to vote for it.
So we'll move forward. She might have double jobs today. So for Elke, please, if she's your nominee, any votes? Okay, well, let's move forward. For secretary nominee, Scott Phillip. Okay, we move forward for Andrea Martinez. Okay, we have.
Okay. Is that everybody? Okay, that's everybody except for Jordan.
I think.
I counted 9 hands.
I'll be right back in 1 second.
So you have Rasha, Ann, Michelle, Andrea, Fabian, Pepe, Elke, Eleazar, Adiel, and then I think
Okay.
Jordan, you're abstaining from this vote, correct?
Yes, it looks like yes.
Okay.
All right. So with that being said, I think we can all see. Andrea.
Andrea, you are the new secretary, so congratulations. All right, guys, so I think we are fully staffed for our next meeting. Congratulations to Elke, to Eleazar, and to Andrea for your nomination and for winning your nomination as well. So congratulations. All right, let's move forward, as I think we have about 20 minutes to move forward and still have quite a bit under our agenda for today. We will continue to work with our bylaws, so there'll be a continuation on this end. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so I can put up the bylaws so we can look quickly as to what we worked on last month, and then move forward with starting to work with our committees as well. So let me see if I can share this quickly. Okay. Okay, are you able to see? Okay, excellent. Let me see if I can move you guys so I can see. All right, so last month we started working on what was Article 1, and I'll go ahead and just move quickly on this area just to kind of review, make sure that we're on the same page as far as the items that you guys voted on the last month. And we'll just work on, we'll run it through. Section 1, the elected officers of the board shall be 2 co-chairs, 1 professional and 1 community member, and a secretary. The officers may be appointed if desired by the board. Elected in terms, the majority of the board shall elect officers for a 1-year term, not to exceed 2 terms. And this is one of the items you voted on. The elections of the officers should take place during annual retreat. That is usually when most of the other ones occur, and I mean, that's something you guys can tweak, but I think that might be something that we talked about. Officers shall maintain their positions until their resignation, disqualification, or until their next election. Nominations for elections to an office shall be submitted to the board by the nominating committee within a month prior to elections. Under Section 3, removal. Any officer elected by the board may be removed by a majority vote of the membership with or without cause at any regular or special meeting of the board. However, no vote for the removal of an officer shall be effective unless notice of the proposed removal has been given to the member of the board at least 10 days in advance of the meeting. Such notice shall be sent by an elected officer at the request of a member and proposing the removal. Vacancy. A vacancy occurring among the officers of the board may be filled by the board acting at any regular or special meeting. So under Section 5, co-chairs. There shall be 2 co-chairs, 1 professional member and 1 community member. The co-chair shall be principal and executive officers of the board. The co-chair shall, when and present, preside at all meetings of the board. Co-chairs will alternate when presiding at meetings. The co-chair shall represent the board before Raleigh City Council and in the community, which this is one of the items you guys voted on the alternation of it. The co-chair shall serve and ex-officio members of the committee created by the board. The co-chair shall have the power to create and appoint committees and their chair pursuant of Article 3 and Section 2 of the bylaws. The co-chair shall perform all above duties related to the office of chairs and such other duties it may prescribe by the board from time to time. Secretary. The secretary shall record the minutes of each regular and special meeting of the board. For regular meetings, the secretary shall make the minutes available for the board members within 7 days of each meeting. The secretary shall receive comments of the minutes from the board members 7 days thereafter and then make all appropriate revisions. The secretary shall make a final draft of those minutes available to all members at least 7 days before the next regular meeting. Now, delegations of duties of the officers. In case the absence of any elected or appointed officers of the board or for any other reason deemed sufficient, the board or the co-chair may delegate the power of such officer to any member of the board. So this is the section that we worked on last month. Is there any comments or anything before we move forward?
Can these bylaws be amended? I have a question, sorry. Okay. Can these bylaws be amended at any point in time? Or is there a process to amend them aside from here?
So there will be a process to amend them, and yes, the board can amend those. One of the things you will have is you can potentially work in one of your committees creating a subcommittee for bylaws. So that means you might have a group that can work on making modifications based on what the board wants to work on, change. And as we start working on the committees, that's another thing that potentially, you might want to change, and that is amendable. That can be amended. Does that answer the question?
But I just didn't hear about that process. So yeah, that's fine.
Any, yeah, and that would be towards the end. You'll see that as we move down to the bylaws. Any questions, additional questions?
No.
Okay. So shall we move forward? You guys were in agreement last time with those changes, so we'll move forward. All right, so as we start working on our committees, Section 3 works and deals with the committees, and it means pretty much the action, the work that you will be doing for the next year with your co-chairs and your secretary. I will present for you just quickly. Let me see if I can go ahead and stop sharing this and share something new. I will share with you quickly just a statement that you guys have. So if you're able to see that, you can see that the Hispanic and Immigrant Affairs Board is the Hispanic. This board advises the City Council on barriers that impact the Hispanic and immigrant community in social, economic, and vocational pursuit. The Raleigh City Council created the commission as an advisory body in February 2020. The creation of the commission is to make Raleigh a more welcoming city. 3 points in there is the need to be inclusive of Hispanic and immigrant residents in civic matters, to recognize that there is a language barrier and create an opportunity for collaboration, stronger community engagement with immigrant communities. So just keeping in mind as you guys begin to create your committees, keeping these things in mind. If you need to look at it throughout our conversation, it is something that is posted on the website. If you look for the Hispanic and Immigrant Affairs Board, this would be the first thing that pops out. So if you need to look at it as we continue, I would encourage you to go to the city website and just put the board name. So now I will be sharing back the, let's see. I'll share back so that we can see Article 3, which deals with the committees. Now, standing committees of the board shall report to and be responsible to the co-chairs and the board. And the board may direct, limit, or control such committees by resolution at any special or regular meeting or by general rules adopted for guidance. Committee chair shall be appointed by the board co-chairs. So the board co-chairs are the ones that appoint. So now the following are standing committees of the board, and that's what we're going to work on today. There are a few suggestions. Again, these are just suggestions based on the general format other boards have been using, as well as looking at the statement in the city that the city has and the board has. We do have the suggestion of having a communications committee, having a policy committee. And the policy committee, that's where you can have like a bylaws, a subcommittee, as Elke asked about that. You can potentially have someone work on that. But we didn't think it was something that you needed to have a full committee for, since you're not going to be changing these every month or creating projects on it continuously. The third one we suggested was the community engagement committee. Looking at the different things that, you know, city council, as well as you guys have looked at, we thought of potentially within community engagement, there's a lot of things that you can create subgroups of or subcommittees, such as education, cultural celebration, which could be events, different activities that go on, community dialogues, rapid response. So these are just some areas that, you know, that can potentially be addressed. Are there any questions so far as we move forward?
What was the second committee that is suggested after communication?
Policy.
Okay, thank
so
you.
There is communications, policy, and community engagement.
Thank you.
Those are the three areas. And so one of the things that you will work towards is creating your own text in there or your own content for these. So we do have some, depending on what you choose, we do have some text for cultural celebration. If that's one that you choose, there are other boards that have that. If you use community dialogues as one of the options within your committees and subcommittees, that's another one that we do have some text. which we can piggyback from. We don't have to create, but if you choose to create your, we move forward with creating new text in there or new content in there. So I'm not sure if you can view 3 of them. So the suggestion of starting with 3 does come, it is a new board. It just, we'll probably keep it simple, but you'd be able to add several things within that. Michelle, and if you take your mic off, because I can't see everyone. Let me see, I don't think okay, maybe I can, hold on. All right. So if you want to speak, make sure you can take the mic off and just go ahead, move.
Okay. Hey, this is Michelle. I just had a quick question about policy. Did you just put bylaws in there because that would be the immediate focus of that committee? Like when we talk about policy, is it just internal policy for this board? Are we talking about also policy within just the city of Raleigh?
Right, so so we put bylaws in there just because I know that bylaws tends to be a committee in some of the boards, but we didn't think this board was going to be switching things off and on within your bylaws. So no, this could just be one piece of it. There are different policy, areas in policy that you definitely can get involved. I know that, when you think about language barrier, you can think about, is the city doing enough to have things in other languages? Whether it's Spanish or other languages, because it's not just about Spanish anymore in Raleigh, right? So yes, you can definitely add other areas.
Thank you, Ada.
And this is Jordan. I have a question too. Can these committees be supplemented by folks from outside the board if they're led by a board member, or are these exclusive to board member staffing?
Right, they should be exclusive to board members. So because these will be assigned specifically by the co-chairs. So the co-chairs will be assigning chairs for these committees. And the chairs, they should come from the board. Questions? Pepe,
No.
All right, so we have about 8 minutes left. So I don't know how far off we're gonna go on this. Do you guys want to move forward and start working on some of these, table it so that we can start working on it next month? Or, I mean, within 8 to 7 minutes. There are still a couple of things within the agenda, nothing major, but we do have things that we need to move forward with. Would you like to think about it, review these and look and see if you want to propose additional ones? Ms. Ann?
I recommend that we table this, and if by chance you have any samples from other boards that have these 3 kinds of committees, it'd be helpful for us to have a chance to look at that. I don't think we can do this in 8 minutes. I really don't. So I think this is very important, a very important thing for us to deal with. So I would like to recommend that we table the discussion of the description of each committee to our next meeting.
Anyone else?
I'm sorry, I was having trouble hearing that part. What did Ann say? Sorry.
Her suggestion is that it gets tabled and that you guys are able to get some sample, maybe some sample text as far as what some of the committees are doing in other boards and commissions.
I agree with Anne. I think it would be really helpful to table this so that we can make a more informed decision for the next meeting. And in between the meeting, be able to look at some examples so that we can actually come into the next meeting with proposals or ideas.
Yeah.
I like what Ms. Ann and Michelle are saying. I think those are reasonable action items.
Would this require a formal vote, or is it required a formal vote?
Well, if we are going to table this, yes, I do ask that someone make a motion so that we can move forward.
And
I move that we table the discussions of committees to our next meeting.
I second the motion.
That is a motion, yes.
Okay, so we have a motion and we do have a second. Can you raise your hand if you are for this? Okay, so everybody has voted for this, no one against. Excellent. All right, we'll move forward then our agenda. And so the Office of Equity and Inclusion will make sure that you do get some of the samples of the others, which I do believe you guys have some of the sample bylaws. We'll resend those just to make sure you have those and you can look at. You do have an opportunity, again, these are 3 suggestions, but you do have an opportunity to bring some of your thoughts as well to the next meeting. Let's make sure we can move forward and keep up with our agenda quickly. All right, so we will move to new business quickly. So under new business, I did get an email from Ms. Liz Ortiz. She's a reporter from CBS 17. She contacted our office regarding wanting to interview someone from the board, some board members. You do have now 2 co-chairs, which represent the board. Potentially they can be the ones that participate in this. So she's writing a special report on Hispanic Heritage Month, and she thought that it would be great to highlight this board. She would like to arrange an in-person interview with some board members, and she wants to learn more about what the board is about, why is it important for the Raleigh community, and what items are on the top agenda, and how community will be involved. Now, having said that, we still don't have, I guess, the committees, so we don't know what the agenda specifically is. If you do decide to move forward with this interview, I would definitely like to remember and just keep in mind and keep it clear that you're not city employees, you are not elected officials, and that you do not speak for the city of Raleigh, but you do represent this board. So when you speak for the entire board. So your representation is for the 15 of y'all within the board. So any comments, questions? Would you like to move forward? Anything? We open the table to this discussion and we have about 2 minutes, but we would definitely want to wrap up the entire agenda.
I definitely think that if our co-chairs are comfortable with speaking to the reporter, that would be great. I also think maybe for the communications committee, it would be great to have a media communications plan, right? So that could be something that we could also add to that, what that committee could do.
Yeah, I'm comfortable having a conversation and being very clear, that we are just starting, we're still compiling, but before we move forward, I want to make sure that everyone on the board is comfortable with it, right? Because and if you would like to join, specifically since they're going to be asking about how it affects community, I think the community co-chair should be the one leading that or representing that part of it.
So my job right now, I'm not allowed to talk to reporters up until after November.
Gotcha. Well, if the committee's comfortable, I can go on there and want someone from someone who's representing the community, because I'm technically representing the organization, so anyone representing community can also join so that there's a balance on that.
I think it would be just important to emphasize why we were created as a group as opposed to our specific agenda first. I think that would probably be the best focal point and tactic to take.
Sounds fair.
You guys mentioned that it was a couple of people. It could be the co-chairs or a couple of people. Is there anyone?
Depending on what you guys want to do, yes.
Is there anyone else in this group that would feel comfortable speaking to Liz and giving their insight based on the questions?
I feel comfortable.
Sorry.
I'm not speaking to that. I'm speaking to our other elected officials. How about Andrea? Since she's our elected secretary, to have her join Eleazar.
I would be comfortable with that. Yeah, just knowing that, especially just before our interview, collaborating on what exactly we're going to say and being in lockstep with the rest of the board.
And
Miguel?
Yes, I wouldn't mind. I'm really comfortable speaking with the media due to the kind of work that I do. So I wouldn't mind also sharing some insight.
Okay. Jordan, you had your hand raised.
I was just going to say, I'm happy if it's helpful to help draft talking points for whoever speaks to the media. And I'm also happy to take off the board hat, if that's possible, and speak from Welcoming America as a national org about how this is best practice across cities, if that's helpful.
So I feel like next steps would be getting Andrea, Jordan, and Adriel and myself in a kind of a conversation the next couple of days to figure out, talk about the talking points, touch base, and then report back to the committee within a couple of days, letting them y'all know this is what we decided. And then once we get an approval, we schedule an interview. Does that work?
Sounds really good.
Any additional comments?
I'm gonna ask my job if I could do it. I know I could do it after November, but I'll ask. If they say yes, I will also do it.
Yeah, and there was a question in there about the reporter. It's Liz Ortiz from CBS 17.
Ana, can you do me a favors and set the email to all four of us, including Ilke, so that we can go ahead and plan that out, please?
We'll do that, yes. So let's go ahead and vote. Let's make sure, since everything here has to be voted upon, if somebody can make a motion, and then we can get that second and voted upon.
I'll second that.
All right, so with raising of hands, if you can vote to move forward. Deja, if we can record, everyone has raised their hand to vote for. Anyone against? All right. Any old business? Anybody has any old business they would like to bring up? Any public comments?
Now at this time, I don't see anything in the chat box.
I have a quick request. Could you all, the staffers, send us like a spreadsheet with people's names, emails listed out? Because it's all in the blinds, it's in the CC, but if you could list them out, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be super helpful.
Yes, we'll do that. Demetrius?
I just want to say I'm so proud of this group. This is the first time y'all using Robert's rule. We oversee a lot of boards. So just to see like the fluidity, like I'm proud of y'all. Y'all don't know, y'all gonna bring a tear to my eye. But I'm so proud of the efficiency of this meeting. Great job, Ari. Your first meeting, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ara.
All right, so we're coming to a close. Any additional comments before I get someone to call in and adjourn our meeting for today?
I have a quick question, and it's not related to anything that we have talked so far, but I wanted to know if this could be like an item to discuss in the future, and it could be a minor thing depending on how you see it. The Raleigh Tamal Festival is written with an error, and if we want to suggest to fix that, how do we go with that?
So are you asking like if we see something on like official communications or something wrong, how do we address it?
No, it is already, the word tamal, it spells in the name Tamale, and it has no E at the end in Spanish. And it should be written with no E at the end.
Yes.
And so And I suggest that needs to be written correctly.
Yes. It is a suggestion you can make. I mean, I don't know if that's something through the board or just, but the board can bring this up later on. And if you want to make this a suggestion to the organizers of it, yes, you can do that. And I'm sure you guys can put this as part of one of your things under education or under any of those areas eventually.
Okay, so that would be the way, because if in the future there are other items, similar items, so I know how to go with that. Or how we can go with that. Okay, that's fine. That was my question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anything else to close to order?
Should all invite our pets in at the last moment to say goodbye?
Group pet photo.
The cat's asleep and he's
That's all I have to say.
I told y'all he might make
Go grab your cat, Markia. Go grab Holly.
Oh, that's so cute.
Are we actually taking a picture? That'd be cute. Who wants to do that?
I can print screen this again. I'll do it.
All right, bring
Count
your
us down. Ready? 3, 2, 1. All right, y'all look so good.
This is the first role for our secretary. Wonderful. All right, can I get anybody to close us off, adjourning this meeting?
Move to adjourn.
I second.
It's official. This meeting.
Y'all real quick on that.
Okay, good. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Pleasure
Bye.
seeing you today. Thank you.
Bye.